So it's so nice when I have a boss, not my boss, but my boss's boss, essentially, who actually listens to me. So I went down and big box of that. You can see there's still some um, lint right there. This is what they're supposed to look like, elongated. Um, you know, I got this. So this this box looked like it was full when I got there, and then I pulled the rest of them out, and I saw this. What am I supposed to do with that? It's too heavy to lift up, and they make them like this specifically to put into the baler because the baler is long. Well, not long, long, but they put in they make the put them in the long bag so that way I can stick them in the baler. How am I supposed to get that into the baler? This was a conscious decision made by whoever was putting them in the bags. Apparently, she said that she's told them not to do this before. Like when they first started bringing the lint down, this is what they used to do. And then we ended up having to put them into the dumpster outside, but you would need a forklift to do it because this crap is heavy. Um, so I needed to show. I showed her the big boss. I didn't bother showing my boss. Um, but it's like this is why I get pissed off. This is why I swear. This is why I get freaking annoyed when I go to work. This crap. Things that make my job harder than it needs to be. Again, this is too freaking big for me to lift up. Look at this is a big box. Look at the size of the bag. It takes up half the freaking box. How am I supposed to lift that by myself? Because no one else is going to help. How am I going to lift it? How am I supposed to even get that into the baler? So now it's just got to sit there basically until I get a chance to somehow get it out to the container outside. This is why I get pissed off. I get this crap. I get pallets that are broken, so that way when I try moving it with a hand jack, I have to literally drag the damn thing because the pallets are broken. I get piles of cardboard with no pallet at all, so I have to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I get piles of toppers that are ye tall, so when you move them with the hand jack, they just back and forth. And what happens? Right onto the ground because the people up there know that they're supposed to band it up if it's that tall. Nope. Nope. Never do. Can't imagine why I get pissed off all the time. I should be able to just go into the factory, go down there and do my job. To bail. Not have to worry about all this excess BS. So, fortunately, I managed to get this mostly done. There was like 5 boxes of like this filled with lint. So I think this box right here and this box right there are pretty much all that was left. So this right here, so that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe in this box, and then maybe 5 or so here. So about maybe 12 bags left out of like maybe 40 something. So I did more than I needed to. Uh, I had to break it down into the 2 bales because this stuff, usually it's nice and light, but then they fill it and then it's extremely heavy and then it crushes down. But then if it's in the middle, it just kind of bursts out when I try to band it up. Because when you open the door, air starts to rush back into it. When it's heavy, it's got so much more force and everything else. So, boom, just comes right out. But fortunately, I was able to do 2 today and not have to worry about it. But I talked to her and she's like, yeah. She also thanked me again for doing a great job down there. She's like, I used to do with, I've worked at every job in the factory, so I know which jobs are, harder and which jobs aren't. And, I appreciate what you do down there. So she knows it's hard. Everyone else in the factory knows it's hard. It's like my boss is like the only one who doesn't. But so it's like that's all I need to hear. You know, you guys, the big bosses, that's all I care about. You know, um, she said she was trying to find me help because she's been wanting more people there because she knows that every time someone gets hired, it's for freaking housekeeping. So she's been trying to find someone for me, you know, to go down there because she knows that I leave at around 12. So from 12 o'clock to 3, there's no one down there. That's 3 hours that stuff can be getting done. I could get a lot done in 3 hours. And then days I'm not there, that's 5 hours that things could be getting done, and it's not. So she's like, I've been trying to find. It's just no one wants to work. No one wants to work. So, um, because she brought up Kevin, I'm like, thank the Dark Lord for him because he's not even part of our group, and he goes down to help because he knows how much of a hassle it is. So sometimes he'll have because he goes down there to do the not the lint, the yarn. But there are times where there's the yarn still sitting up there. I'll go down. There's like huge piles, huge bales of cardboard or huge piles of whatever, just because Kevin went down and did it for me. Because he knows it's bull crap. Everyone who's been hired to do this job has quit because no one wants to do it. It is a hard job, and especially when you get stuff like this, when they know that they're not supposed to do it. But yeah, I was like, Kevin. I'll go down there and see that he's done bales and all that. And it's just, it helps so much. But, you know, like I said, it helps having someone to talk to there who isn't my boss because, like I said, she's like, oh yeah, I've done every job here. I know what jobs are hard and which are easy, which ones need more attention. Because I'm like, yeah, like, I tell her about my boss saying that down here is all extra. And she's like, when we send so the way it works, we bale, we ship it off, and we get paid for the bales. I don't know if it's like per bale or if it's like a bulk type thing for, we get paid just for the amount of pounds that it is, but we get paid for doing the bales. So down there is priority. We don't like the housekeeping, which my boss seems to think is priority. We don't get paid for housekeeping. We get paid for doing our jobs, but it's not like, oh, you're done with the housekeeping. Here's your day's work, your day's pay. It doesn't work like that. The bales we get paid for. So all the cardboard that we do, we get paid for that. All the plastic we do, we get paid for that. All the lint and this and that, we all get. It could be like I said, per bale, or it could be bulk, and they judge it by weight. But we get paid for doing these bales. So down there should be priority, especially when sometimes they're bringing like a week's worth of crap down in a day. But she's like, yeah, I'm trying to find help for down there for you because I know it's not easy but no one seems to want to work, you know? And I'm like, yeah, seems like it. And at least she's trying. And then I go in there. So we had a really good canteen system going on. It had some really good stuff. It had like salads in there. It had like cold cuts and really good stuff. Now we're down to just generic vendor machine crap. I went in there. There's like 2 vending machines or so of drinks. One has like the candy in it, and then the other has like food. Like those big as burgers that you find in like convenience stores and gas stations. They're in there. They're $5. I used to get those burgers all the time when I worked at SeaWorld. One of my favorite things because they were big and they were cheap. When I used to work at SeaWorld, they were maybe $2.50. $5. $5. A can of Monster. We finally have cans of Monster again. Just a regular, size can, standard size can. $5. In the store, they're like, what, 2 something, 2.75, something like that? Nope, $5 for a can of Monster. A generic, just a standard size can. There's like some sandwich, like egg and cheese and whatever sandwiches, same thing, $5. And then they don't supply condiments. So if you go in there and you're looking for a burger, well, guess what? You're going to have to eat it without ketchup or mustard or mayo or whatever because we don't have condiments anymore. Well, at least I know now I don't have to freaking spend money at work if I'm hungry. So I'm just going to have to wait till I get home because I'm not spending $5 on a burger. That's no. No. But I go in there, I'm like there's a the sun drop machine in there, and it just looks so old. Like I'm sure the things like the outside of it is new, but the coloration of it looks so old. Like they just took it from somewhere else, cleaned it up a little bit, and stuck it in our factory, in our canteen. But we went from having good stuff. We had, like I said, we had like salads, and they had like little cheese and cracker type things, subs, um, different sandwiches, like eggs, egg salad, chicken salad, PB&J sometimes. They had breakfast sandwiches, muffins, and then you had on the shelves, you had all your other stuff, your other snacks. And then you had like 2 coolers of drinks. And it was great. But now we have like overpriced generic stuff. Like I said, those big ass burgers, I had those all the time when I was at SeaWorld. All the time. Whenever I went on my break, that's the one thing I would get. At least until they opened up a little like food cart type thing. And then I would go over there. They had like these little tiny pizza type things, and I would just get like 1 or 2 of those. Really cheap, you know? Same thing with the burgers. I got them from a vending machine. Or not vending, it was either one of the door coolers or vending machine. I can't remember. But same thing, it was only like $2 or so. It's $5 now. A standard can of Monster is $5. I'm like, well, if you're trying to push people away from buying things at work, this is the way to do it. Especially people like me who don't get an actual break, who like, oh, well, I've got some time. Let me just go up there real fast and get something to eat. Nope. Just might as well wait till I get home now. But yeah. Either way, I got most of the stuff done. When I left, there was a pile like here of big cardboard, a pile of like this of toppers, and then a box like this filled with other boxes. Like they tear them up and cut them up and they just throw them into a box and then they'll bring them down. So that was all that was there when I left. This stuff was pretty much gone. The lint. There's no carpet, no luchador really, no plastic. I mean there is, but not enough to do a bale of. If there's only like a couple bags of plastic, I'm not gonna put that in because I know damn well it's not gonna be able to get done. Even Monday may not even get to be done. So I'm not gonna put it in there unless I know it can get done. So I looked at the time, I'm like, I could probably start the cardboard, but I know it's not gonna get finished. Or I wanted to finish the rest of this, even if it was just 15, 16 bags. But it's like, well, if I start it, I know it's not gonna get finished. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this bale. It's like 11:30. I'm done. I'm done. So, but yeah, it's good to have someone to talk to there who actually listens to me. Because I was sitting there waiting for my ride, and she came out and saw me. She's like, "Hey, John, how you feeling?" I'm like, tired. And she said, I know how hard it is. I see you some days, and you're just like, and I'm like, yeah, and that's after only 5 hours. You think I was working all day, but no, that's just after 5 hours. Looking like a zombie, like because it's so much work down there. That's how I'm able to keep the weight off. Because also, I've noticed once I can start seeing my veins a lot better, you can tell that you're losing weight. At least for me, because normally you can't see my veins normally, but when I start losing the weight, my veins start protruding out a little more. The table test, still probably the best way. You know, you sit down at the booth, and if your stomach's, you know, sticking into the booth, you're fat. If you're able to sit there nice and comfortably with like this much so space between your stomach and the booth, you're losing weight, which that's pretty much me right now. So I think if I had to, it's the way I was the last time, and the last time I weighed myself when I was like that, I was like 270. So, which it's still big, but someone my height apparently it's only, someone 6'4" is supposed to be like what 200, 205 or something like that. So I'm not obese, but clinically they say it's like, oh, you're obese. If you got a little stomach, you're fat. If you're someone like me, you're obese. And then what about like people on like my 600-pound life? I think there's a clinical, an actual term for that. It's holy crap, that person's fat as fuck. I think that's the term for it. Not sure. I'm not a doctor, but someone my size, like 270, is like considered obese. Then when you see me, it's like, no. People with a little stomach nowadays are considered fat, and people my size are considered obese. No, obese is like, doo-doo. Like Snorlax obese. This is just like extra pounds, not obese. But we gotta change terms to make sure everyone feels better about themselves. But anyway, yeah, so one thing after another. But at least it was nice out today. It was like 60 something most of the day today. It was raining and it was nice. It was nice. But that's why I get pissed off. That's why I swear and get mad because they know they're not supposed to do that. That was a conscious decision. Someone decided to put the lint in a bag that big, knowing full well that it will not fit in that baler, knowing full well that I'm down there by myself, having to lift this stuff on my own. That was a conscious decision. People don't care. And that's why I get mad. That's why I complain. That's why I get freaking pissed off. Because that's so avoidable. It's so avoidable. All they have to do is their job correctly, and it's avoidable. There you go. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.